Let's start with this. What does x squared look like in a graph?
Just straight up.
That's a problem.
Oh,
X
yeah.
is a straight line.
Okay. Yeah.
Right? Right?
Yeah.
Then what you have are general shapes. So let's say this. This is easy because this is saying x, x, and x are the three x's. Okay?
Yeah.
Let's make this a little more complex. Let's say I have x plus 1, x minus 0. So this is just an x. Okay?
Yeah.
If that makes sense?
Yeah.
And then x minus 1. What that means is I have a negative 1 as an answer, a 0 as an answer, and a 1 as an answer. Right? If there are answers, they're actually going across as our x-axis. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Then, if I see that this is an x to the third, and do you see how they're all positive?
Yeah.
So that means I'm going to go through and through there like that.
Okay.
If I had a
sense.
negative, so one of these happens to be negative. Now, be careful. If two of them were negative, you still get a positive.
Okay.
But if all three were negative, then you would have a negative, right? So be
Yeah.
careful of how many negatives there are.
Okay.
If there's a negative, what you would end up doing is this would go the other way. So if you end up with a negative x to the third, first off, it looks like this. If it was a negative x to the third with all the extra mumbo jumbo afterwards, right, for this, then it would go through those values.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
Let's do one that's a little bit more complex. What if I say, let's say, x plus 2, x minus 1, okay? Look, negative 2, 0, 0, and 1, okay? Do you see how 0 is a double one? Now it shows up twice.
Uh-huh.
So anytime that it shows up and it's an even number of times, it bounces off,
Okay.
okay? If it's odd, it goes through.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a few things that you want to look at first, okay? How many x's total are there? How many answers can we have?
4.
4. 4 answers is going to look like this. We want to think of our even ones, okay?
Yeah.
Even means that we start from the top and we end up back at the top.
Okay.
Just like x squared,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
X to the fourth is the same idea, but it has a wiggle in the middle. X to the 6 is the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you were to just draw a line straight through, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, you can count how many times and how many zeros there are.
Okay.
Now notice this. I'm going to say, let's just do one, like 6 of them, just for fun. Actually, let's start off here with our 4 that we already have. We have our 4 values for negative 2, 0, 0, and a 1, right?
Okay.
Now it's all positive, so it has the W shape. But this is even amount of times, which means that they bounce off. So we're going to go, every time there's a value, we go through, but it's going to bounce off our 0 and go through. See that W?
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
Let's add an X in here. Let's say there's 3 X's, okay? So that's odd now. Odd, meaning 5 total answers. 5 does this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just like x to the third starts down here and goes up, x to the fifth starts down here and goes up. That make sense?
Yeah.
Just like x to the seventh would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
But the number of times it hits the 0 tells us what happens at that function or at that value. And so in this situation, now what we would have is that 2, 3, 4, okay? Now it goes 1, 2, 3, 4 through, right? So do you see how that third little squiggly that goes through is going to look kind of like that,
Yeah.
but going through.
Yeah.
That's that x to the third in here. This is their x plus 2, so you have your negative 2 value. You have your x to the third, so 0, 0, 0 3 times, right? And then you're going to go through your positive 1. Oh, because you have that value. That makes sense?
Okay. Yeah, that does make sense.
So if I were to just go through all this and just give you the overall picture of all of them, like you should be able to have, and in your mind, your positives and your negatives of all of these values. So you should have, I think x is just, negative x is like this. X squared is going to look like that. Negative x squared is going to look like this, right? X to the third. X to the fourth. X to the fourth. Chances are your teacher won't give you more than that, but I can give you a couple examples. So let's say we have say they give you something like this, right?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3 means it's going to look like one of these.
Yeah.
Positive, 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 meaning it's a positive, meaning it's this one.
Yeah.
Negative, or positive 1, negative 3, positive 4. So you go negative 3, positive 1, and positive 4. Looks like that. 1, 2, 3.
Sweet. Yeah, that actually helps a lot.